Finally, we come to the last consequence, which is the most serious, and I mentioned it yesterday. It is socialism's corruption of the concept of justice. Remember, the traditional concept of justice is corrupted and replaced with a concept of social justice, in which the final results of the process at any arbitrarily chosen moment are judged more or less emotionally, whether the participants in the process have behaved justly or unjustly. And if I do not like it, for example, if there are a few rich people with a lot of money and many poor people, then we will redistribute the wealth by force. In other words, take from some to give to others. That is the most severe corruption conceivable. An erroneous concept of justice is used as a pretext for attempts to justify the greatest of injustices, violence and systematic coercion. And most curiously, the citizens all fall for it. Imagine I asked you democratically, demos, the people, kratos, absolute power. Okay, let us take a vote. Who is in favor of having his salary doubled? What do you think the result of the voting would be? In favor. Unanimously. Who is in favor of 2 months of annual vacation time? Come to think of it, why 2 months? Why not 3 months? 4, 6, 10, 11 months, the whole year on vacation. Demos kratos. Are the people not the absolute power? Who can stop us? 4 millionaires? Come on, we will take the money. That way we can spend all year on vacation. Why did this never occur to us before? There is a complete corruption of the concept of justice. Furthermore, as soon as judges stop following substantive laws and start letting themselves be guided by their impression of a ruling's consequences in any specific case, justice becomes purely arbitrary. What a judge may rule becomes purely arbitrary and depends on how successful you are at impressing him. As a result, any case, no matter how absurd, can look promising. Therefore, the number of lawsuits skyrockets. The resulting burden is intolerable, and rulings become more flawed. And when people hear about justice being in this chaotic state, or they read about it in the paper, what diagnosis and what solution do you think they propose? Have you ever read about anyone calling for a clearer legal system as a solution? Or more legal certainty? Substantive laws? Do you know what is proposed? Do you know what judges propose? A larger budget, more judges, more courts. Well, that is done, and the result is the same or worse. What is proposed then? A larger budget, more judges, more courts, and so on, in a process that snowballs and does nothing but corrupt justice continually. For the problem is not being addressed. The problem is the disappearance of legal certainty and the attempt to organize society based on commands instead of on substantive laws. The conclusion, dear students, is that socialism is the opium of the people. Please turn to page 76 of my book, Socialism, Economic Calculation and Entrepreneurship. Socialism is a drug, because when people go into the socialist spiral, it is very difficult to escape. Once subsidies have been given to farmers, do you think it is easy to withdraw them? The moment someone mentions withdrawing a subsidy, the country is paralyzed. Farmers march their sheep past the Ministry of Agriculture building. Do you think it is easy to reduce the salary of air traffic controllers? The country is paralyzed. Do you think it is easy to liberalize the labor market? To do away with Francoist regulations? No authority has yet dared to do it. And as a result, the unemployment rate in Spain is twice as high as in the other OECD countries. No one dares. This is the corrupting effect of the drug of socialism, and dependence on it is as hard or impossible to break as dependence on any other drug. Socialism is the true opium of the people. Religion is not the opium of the people. No, socialism and statism are very clearly the opium of the people, in the sense that once they begin to play their evil role in society, we stop being even aware of what we are not creating in the coercive institutional environment in which we are immersed. And socialism, like any drug, causes addiction. It causes rigidity. It tends to justify larger and larger doses of coercion. Above all, socialism makes it very painful and difficult for human beings who have become dependent on it to return to entrepreneurial habits and behavior patterns appropriate to a free society. Consider the case of Greece. Not long ago, the people were all protesting. because they did not want to tighten their belts. What do you mean I can't retire at age 60? Take note. In Germany, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, the retirement age is being raised from 65 to 67 years. In Germany. However, in Greece, everyone expected to have the right to retire at the age of 60, and when they were told, perhaps 62 is possible, everyone took to the streets. Racist German scoundrels! You want to impose your standards on us because you are racists, and poor Greece has been the victim of speculators. Do you believe this? Incidentally, there is not much difference between Greece and Spain. There is a difference, but it is one of degree, not of kind. This is all very clear, and everyone understands it. But as soon as it touches our own pocketbooks, who are the first people to protest? Imagine there is talk of raising the cost of tuition, for instance. We are. But we are here at the university to study, to develop critical thinking skills, and to learn. The conclusion, dear students, page 76 of my book on socialism. In the moral sphere, socialism corrupts the principles or behavioral rules essential to sustaining the peaceful social process. Socialism discredits the law and encourages its violation. It also perverts the concept of the law. Note the perverse imitative effect socialism has on individual behavior. What is socialism? The belief that if a problem is detected, it can be solved by sheer force of will channeled into a command. And we ordinary human beings imitate this. Say I have a problem. I do not own a car, and I see an incredible car. Well, a command solves my problem. I steal the car. I do not have a wife, and I see a gorgeous girl. I rape her. Well, why not? Why not? That is the socialist way of thinking. It always amounts to voluntarism, the desire to solve problems directly by mere will expressed as an order. I get conceited. I believe I have all the information, and I do whatever I please. We should not be surprised by the corruption, the incitation of violence, and the destruction of behavioral norms that result from the coercive framework when the attempt is made to impose it from above by force. It is the same thing. Like many politicians, I am a happily married family man, but obviously my wife is 50 years old now, and there are some beautiful girls here who are 17 or 18. Well, listen, I have nothing against you. You are the mother of my children. I love you a lot. But I am giving you the boot and marrying a new wife. Well, why do I not have the right to be happy? I have the right to refashion my life. Do we not read that every day in Hola magazine? He has the right to be happy and to refashion his life. In other words, to do whatever the hell he wants. That is socialism, pure and simple. In the political sphere, socialism inevitably tends toward totalitarianism. Systematic coercion spreads and causes chaos, and the attempt is made to resolve it with more socialism, and so on. The socialist seeks to take on and control all areas: education, culture, religion. The only loyalties permitted are those to the authorities. Loyalties to a god or a law have no place in society. You can be loyal only to me or to democracy, to the Kratos, the absolute power. Totalitarianism is typical of socialism. Materially speaking, socialism greatly impedes the production of goods and services. With respect to the market and market freedom, socialism causes poverty because it blocks entrepreneurial creativity. Culturally speaking, socialism hinders creativity. It prevents the development and learning of new behavior patterns. It interferes with the discovery and introduction of innovations. In the field of science, socialism is simply a profound intellectual error. Hayek calls it the fatal conceit. Ultimately, socialism is the gravest form of original sin a human being can fall into. It is a sin of intellectual pride, of believing ourselves smarter than anyone else, of thinking we are autonomous and like gods, masters of our own destiny, and why not shape society as we please?